I've built this on it with the mud guards in.
Right.
I've then taken the mud guards out, taken them for grip blasting, and they're hung up in other garage painted. I painted them last night. So they'll go back in, and this back end is then ready to start covering with after a bit of trimming. That's what we've just talked about, that's the wing. There's a bit of repair to do down here, but I'm really only going to overplate it. But this thing pokes inside, and I think you can get the idea. That fits in there, it comes halfway across this piece of wood, leaves the edge of the wood exposed, and that's where you fasten on your cloth. And it's same on the other side, and this thing is what the boot lid closes up to, and there's like a screw fits in to screw it down, and there's another lid comes this way. Look, if you come around here and point it at the dashboard, I've slipped everything back temporarily. That's the side posts. I've put that back at each side. I've put the screen back. I've packed everything out to where it wants to be with bits of packing and set it all up. That's essentially so that I can put this hood frame on, lined up with these holes at the front it has to line up with. That's that hole there. Right?
Yeah.
I'm going to fetch the bolts and fit them in, and with a view to aligning that lot there, setting that up, which in effect is going to give me the position of that fulcrum point there. This is the fulcrum point. There's two of these, other ones on the floor, look down there. In effect, that's to fit on there. It's usually flush with the front of the back of the door there. Wants just letting in and leveling. But basically I'm making sure that when it is on, these holes line up correctly to set all this frame up. This is the rear seat squab, the backrest. The springs were a bit rusty looking, so I've had them grip blasted, which is a hell of a job because you have to do it from every angle, just like you have to spray it from every angle. So 99% of the grit you're using doesn't do anything, and 99% of the paint you're trying to put on goes straight through. This is really a repeat of that, but this is the bit you sit on. It's quite seriously damaged. Like here, there's a broken spring for instance, and there's several others. I intend to take them out and replace them. A major part of the frame's broken somewhere here. I'm going to have to strengthen that. There's a break there, can you see it? You see it moving?
Yeah.
On the driver's side, which is this side, I've been rubbing the panelling and rubbed through it. So I intend to reshape that in that area so that it doesn't rub. That's where it sits. Now I could start shaving some of that off, but it isn't desirable. So I'm going to reshape that piece of that bar so there's less contact there. These were slightly thinner than this. I don't think the plywood were as good either. So I've stiffened them up because on the one I took out it were already bent, particularly in the area where the driver had sat. So I've thickened them up, I've put an extra one at either end, and I've generally made it stronger altogether so that it doesn't sag as much. That literally fits in there. With the there's nails along the bottom, it's just nailed on, can you see the nail holes? It's nailed along the top, so it fits in there like that. Nails along the bottom, nails along the top. It's got a couple of screw holes in here, screw it to that, and it's this side. And then I stick that panel on to make it look tidy and cover up all my sins. Okay? It was no good building that and it not fitting. So I've put the radiator back with this tape to protect it, and I've put the bonnet back on in effect, a bit better than it is now, and I've put the bulkhead, or sometimes called the firewall in America. Not much of a firewall here because it's got the petrol tank in it. So really, this is your reference point where everything starts from. So I've put all this lot on purely to get something to line up to when I was building it. So that chassis, as I pointed out to you, has been built on here. That frame has been built on here. So the front of that, this, lines up with that.